Yesterday, the state reported that over 10,000 new individuals were tested for COVID-19. Overall, about 1.25 million tests have been administered to date in Massachusetts. Yesterday, there were 142 new positive cases reported, and that brings the statewide total to about 106,000. The 7-day average for the positive test rate remained at about 1.7%, and that positive test rate has dropped by about 95% since the middle of April. There are currently 580 patients hospitalized for COVID-19 statewide, and 80 of those are in the ICU. The 3-day average number of patients in the hospital is down by about 85% since the middle of April. And as of yesterday, 6 hospitals are using surge capacity, but that's primarily related to non-ICU, non-COVID surge. We'll continue to monitor these metrics. It's pretty clear at this point that the Commonwealth has made significant progress to slow the spread of COVID-19 since March, gradually reopen our economy, and expand our testing capacity statewide. But that significant progress is due in large part to the cooperation and the participation of every resident. The Lieutenant Governor and I are incredibly grateful for the role that the people of Massachusetts have played in containing the virus. And this is no time to let down our guard. It's very clear from the research and the data that face coverings are the most important and significant way to stop the spread. And while there's been a lot of back and forth about what the virus is and what the virus isn't over the course of the last 120 days, the one thing we all know for sure is that it spreads from one person to another, and to another. The best and most important thing we can all do here in the Commonwealth is to continue to wear face coverings if you can't distance, to distance wherever you can, to be outdoors if you can be outdoors instead of indoors, to wash your hands and practice safe hygiene and disinfect surfaces. And if you're sick or you have symptoms, reach out to your provider. It's what telehealth is there for, and that's what our great provider community here in Massachusetts is there for. And stay home and get tested. The statewide average, as we all know, has hovered on a positive test basis at around 2% for the past couple of weeks. But obviously, we have seen, as we said last week, slightly higher averages in a number of communities around the Commonwealth where we also saw a drop in testing activity. So to encourage more testing in those communities, we launched a program to provide free testing in 8 communities that still see a higher average of positive tests and had seen a drop in testing. Free testing in these 8 communities started last Friday, and the Command Center will continue to monitor the results and expand to other communities if necessary. We all need to remain vigilant with respect to our activities here in Massachusetts so that we can continue to contain COVID-19. We all have a responsibility. You have been terrific in living up to yours, and we would just ask you to all continue to play by the rules, do the things that stop the spread, be willing to comply with the rules that have been developed by our Reopening Advisory Board, the general guidelines that have been put out by the Department of Public Health, and the other data and information that's available through your local communities. It's especially important as the rest of the country has experienced significant increases in recent weeks that we stay vigilant here in Massachusetts.